Kevin Durant was already one of the NBA's greatest players before he arrived at Golden State. But what he did in the 2017 Finals Series to win his first championship ring was show the world he could end up being the best there has ever been. Dwayne Wade resurrected the Miami Heat franchise before becoming a crucial member of the Big Three who changed the NBA landscape. No one has won more titles than Phil Jackson, the guru coach who shaped the careers of two of the game's immortals. Diana Taurasi is America's greatest female player who has been the driving force behind one of the most dominant teams in world sport history. This is the Immortals. A star at Oklahoma, Kevin Durant became something else at Golden State. It was the moment of the 2017 NBA Finals. The Cleveland Cavaliers looked set to get back into the series with a home victory in Game 3. Enter Kevin Durant. He proceeded to score 7 straight points during an 11-0 Warriors run that stole the game. The highlight was a ruthless pull-up three-pointer over LeBron James with 45 seconds remaining, which gave Golden State the lead. He took over. You could tell he knows this is his moment. Durant was already a superstar, but in the space of 12 days in June, he elevated himself into rarefied air. The Warriors closed out the finals in Game 5, with Durant averaging an incredible 35.2 points per game, which was the 10th highest in NBA Finals history.
Yeah, it was 55 seconds left, and I went over to half-court line, and I bent down. I was like, is this really happening? And Dre was like, keep playing to the end. Andre Iguodala was like, keep playing. We got 50 seconds left. And I'm like, bro, we about to win the title. And, you know, I just tried to stay in the moment the whole series, and I think that worked for me. I remember plenty of times throughout my career, I continued to just look in the past and look ahead and not stay in the moment. In this series, I just stayed in the moment, and we did it together, man.
His performance in shading James, the world's best player, introduced the Warriors forward into the conversation about the sport's all-time greats. There has never been anyone of his size who can do so many things. At nearly 7 foot tall, he scores and passes like a guard, and then can play center in defense. He may be the best player in the world today. What can't he do on the court? Durant made the controversial move from the Oklahoma City Thunder at the end of the 2016 season as he searched for the championship ring which had eluded him. With an all-star lineup including Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, there were doubts about whether the combination would mesh. But when it mattered most, the Warriors showed they were perhaps the most potent offensive team in NBA history. And leading from the front was Durant.
The toughest challenge was to come in here and see how I can help Steph get better, how I can help Klay get better, Draymond, Sean Livingston, Andre Iguodala, JaVale McGee, the whole team. Just see how I can help them get better. That was more important to me than anything. Proving haters wrong, like that's cool. That's cool for me to talk about on Instagram or Twitter, but like you don't concern me. I'm coming in and working every day, seeing how I can be the best teammate I could be, the best player I can be. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about, but nobody comes in and cares about the game or loves the game as much as I do or works as hard as I do at the basketball game. You can talk about whatever happens on outside, but inside those lines, I come to bring it every day. I work hard. I believe in myself. I believe in the game. I respect the game. I love the game. And I knew at some point in my life that that it'll come around for me. So I just try to stay with those principles and keep grinding, man. I'm kind of lost for words right now.
Still to come on the Immortals, how Mr. Nice Guy chased down his ring. Kevin Durant was the first freshman to be named the Naismith College Player of the Year. That was the one and only year he appeared in college, with the Texas Longhorns star drafted at number 2 in the 2007 NBA draft by the Seattle Supersonics. Every memory I had growing up was involving a basketball. I didn't go to the prom and stuff like that. In his rookie season, Durant joined LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony as the only teenagers in history to average at least 20 points per game. The Supersonics then relocated to Oklahoma City, and importantly, they picked up another star in the draft, claiming Russell Westbrook with a number 4 pick in the 2008 draft. It soon became apparent that the Thunder had something special on their hands with the dynamic pair. 3 consecutive playoff appearances culminated with a matchup against James and his Miami Heat in the 2012 finals. Durant led all scorers with an average of 30 points per game, while Westbrook averaged 27. But after winning the opening game, the Thunder were swept 4-1. His elevation into superstardom was confirmed in 2014 when he was named the NBA's most valuable player. During this unbelievable season, Durant scored 30 or more points in 12 consecutive games, including a career-high 54 against the Golden State Warriors. He was already universally admired as the Mr. Nice Guy of the league. That was enhanced after an emotional MVP acceptance speech where he thanked his mother, Wanda, who'd raised 4 kids on her own.
We wasn't supposed to be here. You made us believe. You kept us off the street, put clothes on our backs, food on the table. When you didn't eat, you made sure we ate. You went to sleep hungry. You sacrificed for us. You the real MVP.
That same season, Durant collected his 4th NBA scoring title. And despite his combination with Westbrook filling up highlight reels, it didn't bring any silverware. And that's why in 2016, after 9 seasons, Durant made the biggest call of his life.
It was difficult, being in the place for so long and the relationships that I built, it was hard. I went back and forth for 2 or 3 days, and it was tough. Like I said, I've been there for so long, but this new journey I'm excited for, I'm looking forward to. Those 9 years you can't erase. That love doesn't fade. Those memories don't erase. So that's always going to be a part of who I am. But this next step in my life, I want to conquer it and get better every single day.
He didn't miss a beat early in his tenure with the Warriors, equaling the great Michael Jordan for the 4th longest stretch of scoring 20 or more points at 72 games. A knee injury saw him miss 19 games, but Durant was back firing on all cylinders as the Warriors didn't drop a game, winning 12 straight en route to the finals. His combination with Curry not only overwhelmed the Cavaliers, but had their teammates watching on in awe.
When you got somebody doing you like that, it's just like a burning fire in their eye. And you don't stand a chance, but that's like the look that I see in him, throughout this finals. And both of them, to me, it seemed like it's personal for both of them. And, you're talking to the greatest players that we got in this world, locked in the way they are, that's why we're up 2-0.
Durant was the Warriors' top scorer in every game of the finals series, while also averaging 8 rebounds and 5 assists per game.
your Bill Russell 2017 Finals MVP, Kevin Durant.
He was the unanimous MVP of the finals and won it the next year too, living by his motto that had served him so well. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
First of all, just you dream about, representing your country in some type of way. And, to go out there and do it on the basketball court, something that you love to do, you can't beat that. So all these guys, we really appreciate this opportunity. We never want to take it for granted.
The resurgence of the Dream Team had already started when Kevin Durant came on board the USA national team. Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Carmelo Anthony had won gold at the 2008 Beijing Olympics to right the wrongs of 4 years earlier. But in Durant, they found the perfect man to carry the torch.
Playing for your country, like I said, it's 12 of us, and it's 450 NBA players. To make it to this elite group, it's a 1 in a billion chance. So to be a part of that is special in itself. So win a gold medal, that'll be just, like I said, I'm chasing the feeling of just hugging these guys and celebrating with Coach K and in the locker room after we win. I'm just looking forward to that moment. So hopefully we get it done again.
His passion for playing for his country was obvious as he led the US to more Olympic gold in 2012 and 2016. Durant led the US scoring at London 2012, and 4 years later in Rio, he moved to second on the all-time points list, passing James. Up next on the Immortals, the heartbeat of the Big Three who made Miami legitimate again. He carried Miami to a championship and then thrived when the Cavalry arrived, further enhancing the legend of Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade's career can be split in two: life before the Big Three, and then life as part of the Big Three. Despite arriving in a draft year that included LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, and Chris Bosh, Heat coach Pat Riley knew the team had acquired a special talent with the number 5 pick. We feel like we have one of the best players in the draft, if not the best. In just his 3rd season in the NBA, in 2006, Wade led the Miami Heat to a championship after producing one of the great individual finals performances. The kid from the back blocks of Chicago averaged 34 points per game in the series against the Dallas Mavericks. But it was his heroics in Game 3 which set Wade on his path to greatness. Miami, who had lost the opening 2 games, found themselves behind by 13 points with just over 6 minutes remaining in the final quarter. Wade scored 15 of his 42 points in the last quarter to pull off the unlikely victory. He then scored 36, 43, and 36 points in the next 3 games to carry Miami to the championship. The Finals MVP award was his, with Wade's teammates, including Hall of Famer Shaquille O'Neal, in awe of his exploits. Wade is the best player ever. He was just the 4th player in history to score 35 points in 4 consecutive finals games, the most recent being his idol, Michael Jordan. Injuries became a constant issue in the next few seasons before the Big Three came together in 2010, with LeBron James and Chris Bosh joining Wade in Miami. They were the envy of the league, and success quickly followed. The trio led the Heat to 4 consecutive finals series, including back-to-back titles in 2012 and 2013.
You know, moments like this can define your career. I kind of like it a little bit You know, I kind of like the way that our team is when we get to those moments, when our back is against the wall as individuals, because we got winners, we got champions in our locker room, and you know you don't become a champion by luck. I like the team that we have in those moments.
While Wade's scoring dipped, his importance to the team could never be underestimated. James's ascension to being the best player on the planet couldn't have happened without his sidekick and good friend. The Big Three split in 2014 when James returned to Cleveland.
We've gotten a lot of flack over the years, myself, LeBron, Chris, and Melo, for even being friends. In some weird world, guys who compete against each other can't have nothing in common, can't like each other, and can't be friends. Well, we've went against that, and we really, we have a special connection and a special bond. And we've always said these words that it's bigger than basketball for our friendship and our relationship.
Wade stayed in Miami for 2 more seasons before moving back to his hometown of Chicago.
I'm excited to play with this group. I'm excited to put on that Bulls uniform. But that takes away nothing, you know, from what I did and my respect level for, you know, the Miami community. That city, it's a part of me. It'll always be a part of me, just like Chicago's always been a part of me. But I'm now entering a new chapter, and I'm ready to now dive into this chapter and focus on this chapter. And when it's all said and done, I'll put the books together.
The 13-time All-Star was still a force in the league right up to retirement in 2019 at 37. His return to Miami for his final season, averaging 15 points a game, was the perfect bookend to a Hall of Fame career. While James may be at the front of the pack when this generation of stars are remembered in years to come, his former Miami teammate will be on his shoulder. Dwayne Wade ticks all the boxes: 3-time champion, finals MVP, scoring champion, multiple All-Star, immortal. When Phil Jackson joined the Chicago Bulls as an assistant coach in 1987, his coaching credentials were minimal. The former New York Knicks bench player, who won a title in 1973, had spent time coaching in the Puerto Rican League. But after just 2 years at the Bulls, Jackson was promoted to the main gig with instant success. He made the playoffs in his debut season before winning his first title as coach in 1991. And then the floodgates opened. In 9 seasons at the Bulls, Jackson won 6 titles, 2 three-peats, from 91 to 93, then 1996 to 98. He was the beneficiary of having the best player in the world, Michael Jordan, at his disposal, plus a handy support crew led by Scottie Pippen. Jackson dealt with Jordan's brief exit from the game to play baseball, holding the team together until his star returned, which ignited another championship run.
We're all very happy about this. We think it's going to be great for our basketball club. We hope expectations, which are going to be high, aren't overreaching for what we have as a basketball club. We're just glad he's getting back on the court and in the play.
But isn't the goal?
Once we see him out there in that red uniform playing for the Chicago Bulls, that'll be the emotional moment we've looked for and we've all waited for.
After capturing his 6th title in 1998, Jackson retired, claiming he'd never coach again. A year later, he was in charge of the Los Angeles Lakers, and again he found himself with an exciting batch of players, led by Kobe Bryant and Shaquille O'Neal. Jackson was famous for his triangle offense and his leaning to Buddhist teachings, which earned him the nickname the Zen Master. The Lakers won 3 titles in a row in Jackson's first 3 years, despite Bryant and the coach regularly not seeing eye to eye. He then departed after a contract dispute, which saw the Lakers miss the finals for the first time in 11 years.
Championship.
By June 2005, Jackson was back in charge, and in 2008, he became the 6th coach in history to win 1,000 games. Back-to-back championships in 2009 and 2010 saw him take over the mantle as the most successful coach in NBA history. Boston legend Red Auerbach had held the position with 9 titles, but Jackson now had 11. And he also now had the love of Bryant. In my opinion, he is the greatest coach in any profession ever. After health concerns, Jackson retired in 2011, but he wasn't lost to basketball, with the New York Knicks appointing him president of the organization in 2014.
There's no better place to win than in New York City. It really is something that's special. And, you know, it had a definite impact in my decision to come here. There's, you know, I can think of no better opportunity than have the opportunities that I've had in 3 of the biggest cities in America to lead the basketball franchises, both in Chicago and Los Angeles, and now to come back to where I started in basketball. It's a great feeling.
But Jackson was fired 3 years later. In 20 seasons as coach, Phil Jackson made the playoffs 20 times, got to the NBA Finals 13 times, and won 11 titles. That record says one thing: immortal. When we return, one of the greatest female players in history reaches a special milestone. She's won 4 Olympic gold medals and scored more points than anyone in WNBA history. And Diana Taurasi isn't finished. It was a simple driving layup which etched Diana Taurasi's name into the record books. The Phoenix Mercury guard became the WNBA's all-time leading scorer on June 18, 2017, when she took her career tally to 7,494 points. It took her less than 13 full seasons to set the record. She surpassed Tina Thompson, who racked up 7,488 points over 17 seasons, before retiring in 2013. Diana is one of the best players to ever play the game, and definitely one of my favorites. She has done amazing things. Taurasi joined the Mercury as the #1 pick in the 2004 draft, and has been there ever since, while also carving out a successful career in Europe. 3 championships, 2 Finals MVP awards, as well as 5 scoring titles are all part of her extraordinary CV. And that's not including her legacy with Team USA, where she has won 4 Olympic gold medals and 3 World Championship titles. After crushing Brazil in the lead-up to the 2012 Olympics, Taurasi forecast an exciting Games campaign.
Well, to say better would, be disrespecting the 04 and 08 team that, were pretty good. I think we have a chance. I think we have the ability and obviously the opportunity to put together a month of great basketball. We have the talent. We have the togetherness of liking each other and wanting to be really good. And those are things that, a lot of teams don't have. And with Coach, directing us the right way, this can be a very, very special team.
Team USA would take gold again with an average winning margin of 36 points. At Rio 2016, Taurasi led the US in scoring, averaging just over 15 points per game, which ranked her 4th in the competition. She also broke her own 3-point record in a match, making 6 in the group game against Serbia. Victory over Spain in the final was the 6th consecutive Olympic gold for the USA. Taurasi's incredible record puts her in the conversation with Olympic icons Michael Phelps and Carl Lewis, who have also won 4 gold medals in the one event. She won a third World Cup gold medal in 2018 as the US beat Australia in the final. And more gold may not be out of the question. For Diana Taurasi, it's just another chapter in her journey to greatness, to being an immortal.